So when we launched DWCC 10 years ago, the whole goal was like loving our neighbors and exploring what that looked like and how to move folks out of isolation into relationship. And what we found over those 10 years is that the concept of just loving our neighbor often just wasn't enough for seeing healing and progression in their lives, and led us to explore what is at the kernel or the core of a concern for neighbors who are deeply wounded. And we came across the REACT program out of Winnipeg, Jim Fletcher, that looking at complex trauma, which is basically a lid or a ceiling on people's capacity to grow, to become more like Jesus, and to be loving neighbors. And so out of that came the REACT program. So my role is to look at long-term sustainability for REACT, for the recovery program, whether that's both finances and people, volunteers, and support from the community, and then increasing awareness of complex trauma in the city at large across agencies, the health system, the education system.
I'm more the day-to-day, interacting with the clients, initially helping them get through the administrative pieces that they need to enter the program. Once they're in the program, making sure that they're being supported. One of the things that my job has, my position has sort of morphed into is really client support as they're, especially when they're having difficulties or being overwhelmed with their trauma.
And I am responsible for facilitating in the 3 phases, as well as facilitator training and development. And it really has been such a gift. I had originally started volunteering for a year, and the program had such an impact on me personally through some of the learning and the opportunities that encouraged me to take further schooling around trauma. And just has been such a gift in seeing the changes that it's made in people's lives that have come through.
There are 3 people not here that are really key, and that's Donna, Tammy, and Marie, who are our therapists, counselors who provide wraparound support of one-on-one counseling for each of our cohort members, and they're really critical to it. And both Alex and Kristen have a capacity of speaking truth into each of our cohort members' lives when they need calling out, but done in a really loving, affirming way, and can say the tough things I can't. And each of the facilitators and leaders involved have traumatic or a trauma experience, so we can speak from the heart at a level that I think folks pick up that are involved in the program.
There's a real specialness towards the team that we've created, and none of it would be possible without the larger team of volunteers who are so passionate and committed to facilitating and volunteering in different ways.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I loved about REACT is to be a volunteer. A lot of the people had gone through the program, but even if they're interested in being a volunteer with the program, is the requirement of completing the program themselves to really get a handle on the material, the things that are shared. And I think that's very valuable as well.
Yeah. So one of the ironies of COVID is that it provided us the funding to take a program like REACT, a recovery program, to take it online, and provided us kind of the impetus for being able to launch REACT, the 12-week program, which we had no idea what the responses would be like, right? And the response has been overwhelming. Over 300 people exploring interest in it, close to 200 people now being involved in the program and working through and finding community through that program.
We had a curriculum, and I remember Bob saying that we're building this plane on the runway and we're getting ready to fly, and we're flying. You know, we built it on the runway, and it just gained momentum, and it really did feel like there's some jet engines propelling us, and community responding in such a positive way, bringing people, bringing healing. Um, Personally, it's been such a fulfilling time of being able to walk with people. Firstly, React has given me a language for my own story. And then having the privilege and the opportunity to walk with others and help them along their road of recovery has been such a fulfilling process over the last year.
I think too, one of the really encouraging things is the kind of trickle down effect that we've seen. There's been a lot of family members of people that have completed the program and friends that have seen the change within the person that's completed and kind of wanting some of that for themselves and what they've expressed in their experience with React. And that's been really encouraging to see those connections just by word of mouth based on their own experience.
100%.
Also, the feedback from agencies such as the extreme like the detention center and the justice system and the transitional housing of seeing their clients, the people they care and serve and love, are so profoundly affected by the trauma of their lives and the need for a structure to help people address it in their lives, face it, overcome shame, and be able to face up to what her brokenness is about and how they need to take responsibility and find healing for it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're doing it.
There's been many. I think one of the greatest things is when we see people come in that maybe it felt stuck, right? Maybe they've utilized other programs that have been a benefit, but just felt stuck in certain areas. And as the program goes on and working through some of those difficult feelings, because it is difficult work, seeing some of that shame lift and some of the growth that occurs, oftentimes wanting to give back in whatever way that they can, whether it's through volunteering, whether it is through connecting with another person in the program to encourage them, and just seeing that fear and shame slowly dissipate as those connections are made. As to, this isn't just the way I am. There are reasons that some of these behaviors and thought patterns happen. And with that awareness, then being able to have the power to make some of those changes that they long for.
Yeah, personally, the nature of the complex trauma really leaves people with an inability to trust. And personally, for me, one of the joys is when I really sense a trust from someone who did not have trust, and they allow me to, in facilitation or in relationship, speak into their lives, direct them, and that's received in trust has been a real personal joy for me. The other joy is seeing the smiles on their faces when they finish and they graduate, and they invite their parents and their friends. It's a real treat and a joy that we get to celebrate graduations almost every week.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking of that just on last Friday, the graduation of someone who invited their adoptive parents and their birth parents, and both sets of parents in tears at the transformation they've gone on, or is in the process of going on with the person. And it's like, okay, that's it. This is good. And at the end of the night, I have to. It's really important for me just to sit quietly and just process every single person, and because it's been so profoundly emotionally energizing, but also exhausting. At the end of the day, of the change that's going on in people's lives. A challenge would be COVID, and the critical factor in addictions or mental health is isolation. Isolation aggravates all the negative things in our lives and the limitations on having the capacity of being physically together. And so the beauty of doing the Thursday socials and the outdoor events and just seeing people come out of their shells and literally have to be walked from the car. I think you were talking about that, is walking someone from the car to the group because they're so fearful of social anxiety and seeing them overcome that. So that's a challenge I think we'll continue to work through as we kind of work through COVID.
Yeah. Definitely, and one of the most exciting thing for me on the horizon is the new launch of the Excel program, which is a complex trauma program designed for the ages of 12 to 17. And that is, to me, so exciting that we will be able to reach a new demographic of young adults and begin recovery education around complex trauma.
And drawing from the families or the parents that have gone through the program and drawing from the children of graduates is so cool. So those youth go back into a home where the language, the concept of complex trauma is understood and can support them. And then even talking with some folks that are in the program in their 50s and 60s and so on, and realize, man, I wish I knew this 30 years ago. And to be able to introduce the concept of complex trauma and how it's shaping our lives in my teens and saving a whole ton of grief, and conversely being able to enjoy life to its fullest is what a gift.
I think as far as specifics, I'm on board with everything that you guys have said, and really just the expansion of the group of people who found a place where they feel safe, where they feel cared for, and learning to make those connections and relationships and be able to carry that on with each other and with others in their lives. And I don't think we can ever have too much of that, so I'm just looking forward to the expansion of that.
A couple other ideas came to mind was the whole concept of spirituality that's involved in this, of the incapacity for persons to trust God because they can't trust anyone. And as they enter into the program and begin to explore, this might be people that I can trust, and then little bits of trust built daily to the point where they find a safe community. They again begin to explore the concept of trusting God with their lives, or entering into a intimate relationship with God becomes a sense of preparation for them. And then the other one was just an earlier conversation today with the city and other agencies about our homelessness of folks that are living on the streets, and how even the prison system, how trauma has so drastically shaped and damaged their lives, and the capacity we have in the future, in the near future, I hope, to be able to present React concepts to folks living on the streets is pretty exciting. Certainly, we're grateful for those who've made this year, 14 months, possible, and that's those folks who've financially supported the Souls Foundation, United Way, and numerous folks who quietly and want to remain quiet, who financially supported React and the capacity for us to present this. But then also other folks like First Baptist Church and All Saints Anglican, who've given us space and been open to the concept and allowed us to risk on that. Agencies who've been supportive in spreading the word, the hospital, the prison system, Children's Aid. The list is pretty extensive now.
Everybody who worked so hard to make our annual fundraiser, the Walk for React, a success. Everybody who donated, our social media team.
I'd like to give a big thank you to all of our volunteers with the program and our entire React team for all you do as well, helping to make this possible. So thank you to you all.
So the opportunity continues on, and one of what we want to express to you is the opportunity for you to participate with us through financially supporting, praying with us, sending me an email at bob@dwcc.ca saying, hey, I'd love to get the notes on how to pray for specific things in the program. But also this Christmas, as you consider your Christmas giving, to financially support us in what our plans are for the coming year, in working with the 150 people that we will engage through 2022, and then the ongoing projects, the opportunities we have with the Excel Youth Program and working with folks on the streets. So thank you for supporting us this past year and stepping out in a concept and trusting us with something new. And thank you for supporting us in the coming year as well.